Well, hello. Thank you so much for jumping in to my Facebook Live here on this Monday. Starting your week off, jumping right in to the week. Welcome to Marketing Tips with Charvette. And today we're going to be chatting about how your fear of the spotlight may be keeping your business invisible. Ooh, ouch. I know that might hurt. I know that might sting. And so I'd love to take this time on this Monday to just chat about a little bit of my journey. Some of you know, some of you don't. And let's just walk down that path. I want to talk about some setbacks and some fears I faced and some lessons I learned. And so welcome to all those that are coming in. I am Charvette Mitchell. I'm the founder and CEO of Mitchell Productions. We work with high achieving women entrepreneurs to help them generate more revenue by focusing on their marketing, their visibility, and their branding. And I'm super excited to have you all here. Go ahead and tag a friend. Go ahead and tag a business bestie. Go ahead and tag someone and tell them to join in. Now, listen, shout out to my Facebook community. Hey, girl, hey. Thank you so much for being here with us in this community. If you are new and like saying, this is the first time I'm checking you out, Charvette, let me know in the chat. And I am hopeful that our internet is doing all right. I see some people coming in. Shout out to Julia Royston. Thank you for sharing this live stream. Julia is actually speaking at our conference. It's called the Platform Builder Summit. She'll be coming into Richmond, Virginia. She'll be speaking during the main conference, November 3rd and 4th. FYI, our VIPs, their VIP day is November 2nd. It starts at 12 noon. So guess what? We are technically 30 days away from the Platform Builder Summit kicking off with our VIP day. So Julia, we're glad to have you. Shout out to my sister, Kim, my blood sister, who is always there. Kim and Deborah, thank you so much over on YouTube. Glad to have you. Thank you for those that are coming in from my Facebook community. We're excited to have you, and those that may be checking this out live and watching this live. And so we're just going to have a fireside chat today about how your fear of the spotlight might be keeping your business invisible. Yeah, 30 days away. Good afternoon. Good to see you. And so let me just kind of take you down the path of where I started, where I am today, and some of the setbacks and even fears that I experienced and lessons learned. And so Mitchell Productions, which is the name of my company, started, oh my goodness, technically January 2007, I think is the date on my LLC. But it started actually with a conversation sitting at a girlfriend's kitchen table. So shout out to Edwinette Moses. FYI, I just posted her and Paul Moses on my personal Facebook page. They just celebrated 35 years in marriage. So shout out to them. But sitting at their kitchen table, Edwinette, back then, oh my goodness, she was starting a medical consulting business. And so we were putting together brochures and we were putting together business cards. And I was helping her with that because my degree is in marketing from Virginia Commonwealth University. So I do have a degree in marketing, Bachelor's of Science in Marketing. Go VCU Rams, any VCU Rams or fans of VCU here, shout out in the chat. And so I've always had this kind of creative nature, always had this creative flair for design, if you will. So we're sitting at our table and we're creating brochures and creating business cards. And I realized, like, wait a minute, she doesn't have a website. Edwinette doesn't have a website. Again, this is think back like 2007. She doesn't have a website. So we shouldn't go print all of this stuff until we have a website address to put on it. So I sat there and said, well, let me go figure that out. long story short, I put together this rinky-dink, pink and green, not associated with any sororities, pink and green website for Edwinette. And what happened was the next thing that happened, I'm just taking you through my journey. The next thing that happened was I worked on my church's website. And so I stepped in and was like, hey, I'll help with the church website. Then guess what started happening, ladies and gentlemen that may be watching? Then the next thing that started happening was people started asking me, can you do a website for me? This is how Mitchell Productions started. And I realized that I had a solution to a problem that people would pay for. That is a nugget. I had a solution. Shout out to my mom. Thanks for being here in the audience. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Annette. Thank you. First time joining us over on YouTube. We're glad to have you. Hey, Mahogany Butler. And to everyone else. Hey, Dr. Val. She's one of our speakers and panelists at the Platform Builder Summit. We are 30 days away. Hey, Erica. Erica is one of our speakers at the Platform Builder Summit. Hey, Marif. Thank you for being here. So I realized Mitchell Productions started, and that's my company, because I realized I had a solution to a problem that people would pay for. All right, so that's kind of an embedded nugget there. So I started creating some websites for people that asked me. But after about the third or fourth free website, let me just, like, I wasn't charging. Like, after about the third or fourth free website, then I recognized, okay, wait a minute. No, this is a business. And so I officially opened up my shingle, went and got all my stuff in order, and Mitchell Productions started there. And so let me just remind you and actually let you know, I was doing this on the side. So I was working for Capital One Bank. Shout out to Capital One. Hey, Roxanne, thank you for being here. I look forward to meeting you at the Platform Builder Summit. I know you're already registered. So I started the Mitchell Productions on the side. So I worked for Capital One Bank. I spent most of my years in training and development. I started off on the phones though. Y'all, anybody the phone, right? Everybody got started there, or a lot of people started there. But I matriculated into the learning and training and development space and spent really 20 of my 25 years there in training and development. And so, I've got my Superwoman cap on, and I'm just taking you through this journey. If you're just joining in and you're like, hey, what are we talking about? My question that I'm posing to you today, the question that is on the table for you today is how your fear, or what we're talking about, how your fear of the spotlight may be keeping your business invisible, And so, I got my Superwoman cap on in the evening. I'm creating websites. I've got this web design business going. And I hear about and start thinking about community. I start thinking about community, and I realized on my personal page, and FYI, those that are in my Facebook community, I leaked this video onto my personal page. Now, those that are watching from my personal page, normally this content is only in Marketing Tips with Charvette, but I'm just letting y'all have a preview. But I encourage you, if you are a female entrepreneur, small business owner, join us over in Marketing Tips with Charvette. But I'm just letting you have a complimentary session here. Hey, Michelle, thank you so much for being here. And so I realized on my personal page what was happening. So again, I'm working at Capital One Bank full time at that point, having my Mitchell Productions web design business on the side at that point. And there was a lot of engagement on my personal page. And I realized, man, I think I need community. I feel like we need to be able to gather somewhere together. But I didn't ever really think about having community at that point. I didn't ever really think about having a actual Facebook community. So I put a post on my personal page one day and said, hey, if I start a Facebook group for just women and women that are interested in either being business owners or they already are you interested? And so maybe about 100 people clicked and said, yes, count me in. And so back then, do y'all remember back then, we could add people to Facebook groups. And so I added those 100 people who said yes. And the community started. Back then it was called the Coaching with Vet community. But let me back up a step. So with the web design, working full time, having the web design piece, I also started the Charvette Mitchell radio show, or interview here because you follow the Charvette Mitchell radio show. You've checked it out. And FYI, the Charvette Mitchell radio show actually started live in person, in studio at Rejoice, 1540 AM radio they were on Broad Street. So it was like a live in studio experience. We then went to I Shout for Joy radio in studio experience. And so I was doing a lot of interviews, started out actually with web design clients, but then the show took kind of this turn, and I was doing a lot of gospel artists. I was doing a lot of up and coming gospel artists, sprinkled in some famous people like Tamla Mann and Anita Wilson and some other people, but a lot of up and coming gospel artists. And so then the show, the Charvette Mitchell radio show, started shifting to be more entertainment based versus tied to my business. So I'm going to get to the nuggets and the lessons, but I'm lacing that in as we have this conversation. So we got the Mitchell Productions at that point, web design. We've got this Charvette Mitchell radio show, which is now like really entertainment based. And then now I'm realizing, hey, I need some kind of community. So I raised my hand and start probably now 7 years ago, the Facebook community that I have today. It was called Coaching with Vet. It was called Coaching with Vet back then, but has now been shifted to the name of Marketing Tips with Charvette. I left Capital One Bank February 2nd, 2018. So I have been a full-time entrepreneur 5.5 years now. And when I left, so Mitchell Productions started as web design. But I found out, here's what I found out. As I was working with web design clients, there was two things that were happening. One thing that happened was either on the front end, people would come to me for websites, but they didn't really have a direction around their business, or they didn't really have all of the things together. So I found myself consulting and coaching on the front end of that before we could even do the website. The other thing that was happening on the back end of that was once the website was done, some people were like, okay, now what? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what's happening next? And that's how I found myself in the coaching space and in the consulting space as your marketing coach and your marketing consultant. I've since rolled off of web design services. So we stopped web design services. We stopped that December 2020, and have been fully in the space of coaching and consulting in the marketing space, more, the 30,000 foot level. And so not 30,000 dollars, but in just thinking like a plane, we're up here versus being more tactical with the web design. And so let's talk about this a little bit of the journey. I'm going to continue as we talk about how fear of the spotlight is keeping your business invisible. Hey, Tony, we're glad to have you. Tony's speaking at our Platform Builder Summit, which is exactly 30 days away. She's speaking with the VIPs and our main session. So let's talk about some of the challenges laced in that and some of the lessons laced in that. So the first thing was when I started providing the web design services, you notice that I said I wasn't charging. I did the first like 3 or 4 websites for free. Some of you that are listening to me right now, some of you that are watching me right now, you're actually providing services and you are not charging. Hey, good afternoon from my Facebook community. Some of you are providing services and you're actually literally not even charging, let alone some of you are charging, but you're not charging nearly the value that you bring to that service. So that was the first thing that was, I would say, a setback related and really kind of questioning, well, yeah, I'm doing these sites for free, but will people actually pay for this? Like, yeah, people will take free stuff, but will they actually pay for it? The answer absolutely is absolutely yes. The other thing that other kind of thing I want to bring out as we go into the lessons, and thinking about fear and how fear plays a role. I hosted my first event. I sat, and some of you have heard about this, but I created this 2 to 3 hour event for authors. This is now about 7 years ago. And I did Facebook ads, and I had this great graphic, and I rented a conference space at the Aloft Hotel here in Richmond, Virginia. And 2 people registered and showed up. 2 people registered and showed up. Now, let me say, I someone had recommended to me, hey, Charvette, you should do events. And I said, no, no, no. People wait till the last minute. People don't pay. You gotta like beg and get people to come. And that was my thought process around events. And so then here I am hosting my first event. So that was the fear. Here I am at that point hosting the first event, and 2 people show up. But let me tell you what I was most concerned about. I was most afraid of what people were going to say. I was most afraid of what would people think about me. At this point, I had the Charlotte Mitchell radio show. I had Thelma from Good Times on the show. I had people like Pastor Jamal Bryant. I had people like Dr. Medina Pullins. I had people from the one guy from The Walking Dead. At that point, I had what I thought was this great following through the Charlotte Mitchell radio show. And here I am with an event and literally in sitting in a conference room in a loft hotel in Shore Pump, and 2 people showed up. So let me keep going with that. And so some of us, when things happen in our businesses and it doesn't happen like we want them to happen, we hang up the towel. We just stop right there and we quit. We disappear and we quit. But here's the thing about quitting, that is stepping backwards, right? And we got to get you into the spotlight. But here's the thing about when we talk about is the fear of the spotlight keeping your business invisible. Me stepping out and saying, I'm going to do this first event, that put a spotlight on me. Me stepping out saying, hey, I'm going to run these Facebook ads, that put a spotlight on me. And then 2 people showed up. So then at that point, I was like, okay, see, told you, see, I told y'all events, that's not where it is. See, I told y'all. And so I hung the event thing up on the shelf and said, yeah, I'm good. I told y'all. See, there you go. But when I started the Facebook community, because you remember I mentioned in this journey, I started the Facebook community because I saw that there was like a community piece that was needed. I started the Facebook community after that first event. That Facebook community, I started calling it, and everybody started saying, hey, girl, hey, we found these notebooks. I walk into Target and find these pink notebooks, and shout out to Sandra, who actually bought the notebook first, took a picture. It said, hey, girl, hey on it. It was pink. And when I bought those notebooks and took a picture of these 70 notebooks, put it in the Facebook community, they said, oh, this is for our conference. This is for our event. And I was like, oh, no, wait, no. I'm not doing an event. Like I tried that. And if it didn't work, I only had 2 people that showed up. I'm not doing an event. That was June of that year. Long story short, by that December, I was hosting an event. I was hosting my first official, the pop-up conference. And now we're going into my 7th live conference, and we average at least 100 ladies every conference. I'm going into my 7th event this coming November. Literally today is 30 days away, called the Platform Builder Summit. And what I can tell you with a surety is that hosting this conference changed the trajectory of my business. But what if I had stopped with that 2 or 3 hour kind of workshop that I did, rented the hotel in the loft, and 2 people showed up? What if I had stepped back from the spotlight and said, nope, these lights are too hot? You know, when you're on a stage, if you've ever been on a stage, there's a lot of lights coming down on you, and it can be hot. Also, it focuses everybody's attention on you. What if I had stepped back from that place? I wouldn't be now 7 years into a live conference that blesses, 100 women. And we've got conference guests and speakers hanging out with us. Hey, Penny, thank you for being here. She said, I know all about disappearing. Thank you. I'm glad that you showed up today. Hey, Kathy, thank you for being here. Listen, y'all, Kathy has this hand cream, Kathy's creams. Check her out. It is my absolute favorite. She's been to our conference before. Welcome, coming in from Arkansas, Arkansas. Thank you for being here. So what if and we're in the lessons now. We sliding into the lessons here. What if I, after that first, what I thought was a failed event with two people, what if I said, no, never mind. The trajectory of my business would not have changed. And quite honestly, I really feel when I left corporate America, again, that was February 2nd, 2018. Having the event at that point, I'd had two conferences. I think I'd had two. Yeah, because 5 years, 5.5. I'd had two conferences. The conferences and the events were one of the pivotal things that shifted my business, because what came out of the event was the reason why I started the Platform Builder program. My Platform Builder program is a 12-month program that I work with any of my platform builders that are here. Put hashtag Platform Builder in the chat if you're past or current. We're on season 7. Any of our platform builders. Yes, Kathy, and she came in from Chicago. She said it's a wonderful conference. Kathy didn't know me before the event. She bought a ticket, flew in from Chicago, and there's her testimonial. But what happened with the conference and me stepping back up into that spotlight and saying, okay, I'm not going to be invisible. I'm not going to shirk back. I'm going to try this again, birthed the 12-month program that I have, that where I work with women entrepreneurs for a whole entire year. And it's called the Platform Builder program. I would not have started that really if I hadn't started the conferences. So I talk about following the breadcrumbs. Do y'all remember Hansel and Gretel, that that was not a fairy tale, but it's a childhood story, right? Where they go out into the woods and their stepmom is mean and sends them off. And they put breadcrumbs down and lead them back to the house. And they put rocks down to lead them back to the house. But sometimes there are these breadcrumbs in life. And you might not see the full road, but can you see just your next step? Can you see what is just the next step for you to take? And so those of you that are shirking back and feeling like, I don't want to be in the spotlight, there are a lot of people that identify as introverts, and they feel like being in business is very extroverted. Like, you're looking at me on this video and you're like, yeah, I'm not doing videos, Charvette. You can hang that up because it feels scary. My question to you is that fear of you shirking back and fading back, right? Like, I'm not going to be in the spotlight. Is that keeping you from getting the business and getting the attention and the visibility of the customers that are looking for you? Because guess what? Your customers are looking for you. The question is, can they see you? Can they find you? That's the question. And so the fear of being in the spotlight, the fear of stepping out and talking about your business more, promoting your business more, becoming, and those of you that offer services, your personal brand is heavily involved in the influence of you getting clients. Those of you that are accountants and therapists, sometimes realtors and consultants and financial advisors and all of that. People are looking to connect with you and or your business, and that's helping you get customers. But if you fall back and say, I don't want to be in the spotlight, that is keeping your business invisible. At one point, let me tell you kind of one other thing. Well, I got a couple other things, but at one point with Mitchell Productions Web Design, I took myself completely out of all of the marketing. I said, well, you know what? Maybe I should make this more generic. Maybe I should use all stock photos, take my name off, because then you don't know if it's a woman or a man, because a lot of times people see Mitchell and they automatically think, male. And I took myself completely out of the brand. And I just went with this approach of very kind of stock photos to see if that would shift my business. And somebody let me know in the chat. What do you think the outcome of that was? Somebody let me know in the chat. What do you think the outcome of that was? Yes, I remember I was there for the first one. Thank you for being there for the first. It was called the pop-up conference, now rebranded to the Platform Builder Summit. Thank you so much. Listen, yes, Kathy, one of my platform builders, Dr. Val, you're going to see her this year, one of our current platform builders, mastermind level. What do you think when I listen? Kathy said, trying to move beyond that now. Step in, step up. What I want to encourage you is to lean in. And I see you, Kat. I see you working, Kathy. I see you out there. Roxanne, your customers are looking for you, but can they see you? Yeah. Yeah. And so if you're feeling like, man, I'm not, I know I have a great product. I know I have a great service and I don't, but I am scared of being on the spotlight. And that fear can, here's what I want to say about fear. A couple things about fear. Number one, you don't have to have 100% confidence to operate. You don't, or let me say it another way, you don't have to have 0% fear to operate. If you can have your confidence level or your action level, whatever you want to call it, just 1 or 2% higher than your fear, that's all that you need. So I always say you only need like 51% confidence. You could still have 49% fear and operate. So get your confidence or your action level just up a few percentage points above your fear, you can still operate. So people that are great that you aspire to be like, and people that you look to and you're thinking, man, they're doing this with no fear and they're operating with no fear. That is not true. They've just figured out, I just got to get my action taking skills or my confidence up a little bit more higher than my fear, and I can still operate. The other thing, and I heard this gentleman, Jason Fladden, I probably Fladian, say I'm saying his name wrong. Heard him say that because I don't steal people's quotes. I heard him say this: even if you have fear, and let's think about being in a car, right? Don't let fear drive the car. If you do have fear, it can sit in the passenger seat. It can sit in the back seat. You can stuff it in the trunk. Just don't let it drive your car. Just don't let it drive your car. And so let me capture this. So I don't think it changed. Right. I also, let's see here. I also came out from being behind the brand. I'm so excited. Yes. So if you are hiding behind the brand, so you remember I said a few seconds ago, I took for Mitchell Productions, I did kind of this like wash. I said, let me just do stock photos. But here's what happened in that service space. A lot of, especially in the web design space, there are people that ghost people pay and then they disappear. And there's a lot of mistrust in that field, and especially kind of that gig mentality with graphics. I got this person, I can't find them. There's a lot of that. So people really wanted to have a level of trust, like who am I working with? Who am I spending these thousands of dollars with on my website? And so I realized then I had to step back in. And so if you notice, now my face is all across my brand. It is intentional. It's not narcissistic. It is, number one, so you can remember me. But number two, there is a level of trust that's built for me to say, hey, I'm going to be working with you. Even if we have team members that are working with you, you still are able to, to come to me and access me and feel like I know, like, and trust Mitchell Productions. So I put myself back in the brand. Here's the other thing about fear for those that are saying, and we're having this discussion about how fear of the spotlight is keeping you from your business from being for really invisible, is the confidence level. And so how do you raise confidence? Because that conversation is really kind of in there. If you are leaning back, if you're stepping back and saying, I don't want to be out there, I just want all the money to flood in, right? Well, there might be some businesses like that, but for most of us as small business owners, until you get a huge budget for your marketing, your advertising, and even let me say this, a lot of companies that have a large budget for their advertising and their marketing, there's still a face to the brand that shows up. There's still a face to the brand. And so let me talk about confidence. Confidence increases with preparation and clarity. Let me say that again. Your confidence level goes up because you remember I said you only need about 51, 52% confidence. You can still have 48 or 49% fear to operate and to step into the spotlight. Confidence increases with preparation and with clarity. So for some of you, that preparation to help you know what to be doing is a coach, is a trusted guide, a consultant. Clarity, some of you need clarity. You're not even really clear on, well, what am I offering? And so if you're unclear of who you're offering your services and your products to and what you're offering, the what of that, then that lessens your confidence, which then makes you step back. Ooh, which then makes you lean back, right? Which then makes you step back. So increasing your preparation and increasing your confidence will increase increasing your preparation and your clarity. And so that was one reason why I rolled off of web design services 2020, because I became very clear that I am a leader that is assigned to other leaders in the space of consulting and coaching. I'm very clear on that. The web design piece, we need it, but it's very tactical. I became very clear that I'm a leader that is assigned to other leaders in the coaching and the consulting space. Even the shift of the name change of the Coaching with Vet group to Marketing Tips with Charvette, I wanted to make it very clear to those that were looking, saying, hey, I'm looking at marketing. I'm looking, where can I go? People joined the group just because they saw it on Facebook and had clarity about what the group was about. And so that clarity increases your confidence, increases your stepping into the spotlight. Let me capture some of this here. Some of these comments, I thought that, but I use me no stock photos. Good. So you are on the right track. Hello, Sunflower Diva over on YouTube. Hello, Evangelist Pamela. Beautiful, great inspiration. Your voice is necessary. Yeah. Thank you for saying this is good. Listen, this is good. This is good. Yes, for sure. And so Roxanne, how do we book a consultation? Thank you so much for that question. Very simply, you can go to callcharvette.com. Actually, let me just put a quick little banner up, callcharvette.com. And that we can do a complimentary meet and greet call. I call it a meet and greet call, callcharvette.com. You'll schedule a meet and greet. I actually have one meet and greet call at 1. And so let's chat and let's talk about where you are now. But more importantly, where you want to be, what's happening that's been working, and then where you feel like there's areas of opportunity. And then if I have a solution that matches where you want to be, closes that gap, then we'll chat about it. So thank you so much, Roxanne, for asking that question. And also, she'll be at our conference. Let me capture Miss White over on YouTube. Yes, I sat still for so long going back and forth on stuff. And in go mid now. You looks like you're going now. Yeah, we do spend like a lot of time going back and forth. And is that time keeping customers away? Is that time keeping you away? And so I want to just let me recap a couple things here as we tie it up. And again, this was a little bit of a different conversation than what we've had in the Marketing Tips with Charvette Facebook community. If you're not in there, listen, there are like 24 or 25 videos, trainings that you can go in and like binge watch and get caught up. But as we talk about kind of these lessons, so number one, make sure like your brand also is cohesive. And so that plays into your confidence level. So if you remember, I mentioned that I had the Charvette Mitchell radio show, which took a steer. It steered off into this entertainment space. But guess what? That didn't coincide with the marketing company, the web design company at that point. And so then I intentionally pulled the Charvette Mitchell radio show back into small business topics, small business guests, to make my brand more cohesive. That was kind of like lesson 1. Make sure your brand is cohesive, which increases your confidence. Lesson 2, don't take yourself out of the brand. Don't take yourself out of even the visuals of the brand. And even if you don't want to be in the visuals, even doing things like videos or reels or stories, you can jump online for 15 seconds and do that. Email marketing, all of like putting your voice into the brand, your voice, and also encourage your image. That's why within our platform builder program, the 12-month program, we do a full brand photo shoot for our clients. So they have these great marketing assets that feature them, that also we create stock photo for them. So they got custom stock photo. We have our photo shoot coming up October 15th. So we're excited about our current platform builders. We'll be doing that. So lesson 2, don't take yourself out of the brand. In particular, if you are a service provider, put yourself into your brand. Lesson 3, community might be a part of what you need to do to help get more visible. And so maybe some of you are like, hey, I don't want to be out here in the wild, wild west, but I don't mind doing more engagement if I had a closed group, like a closed Facebook group, or if I did webinars that felt more like not out in the wild, wild west of these internet streets. But whatever it is, figure out maybe your brand may need a community element. And I would strongly encourage that you do think about what that looks like. And then the fourth lesson kind of is clarity, getting clarity. The more clear you are, the more confident you are. The more clear you are, the more confident you are. And your confidence level in your products and your services will help you lean more into the spotlight and not go back. And your customers are looking for you and like, I can't find them. I'm looking for something that I can't find. And it's because you're hiding behind the curtains and they can't see you. But when your clarity goes up, your confidence goes up, which encourages you to step out. So those are some of the cool things there that I wanted to talk about. So yes, cohesive, work to have your brand be more cohesive. And that was definitely an aha for me, because I had kind of like this entertainment stuff going on. Then I had this over here, and then I had events. And so all of it now, my book collaborations, my events, the Mitchell Productions, our services, our coaching, consulting, the Charlotte Mitchell Radio Show, everything is focused around small business. Everything has a slant and a lean towards marketing, visibility, getting more eyes on your brand. And so that has increased clarity, which equals confidence. There you go. Thank you, Robin, for being here. So Robin said, true, I added a video of myself to TikTok and my views exploded. How about that? Come on, Robin, come on and testify. And so here's the thing, because sometimes, especially with TikTok, the video might be about something else, right? Like you might be kind of more like, I'm just shooting this, I'm shooting this. But when the studies show that, especially related to video, people actually want to see you. So you can sprinkle in some of these other videos, but at some point, what people want to see is they actually want to see you. And the studies show that people are very forgiving on video, live stream video. So if you feel like, I don't have this, I don't have whatever you feel like you don't have, people are very forgiving with live stream. Now, YouTube, I will say YouTube, there's a little bit more expectation to have a little bit better quality video. YouTube just has a higher expectation because YouTube is typically pre-recorded video, but definitely things like TikTok and Reels and stories, people want to see you. Kathy's still using pictures. She's like, the pictures are great. This was so on point and needed. Thank you so much for being here. And we're excited to have you. All right. So I'm over, but I'm getting out of your hair. Today is literally 30 days away from the Platform Builder Summit. Again, my 7th in-person conference, and technically this will be the 9th event, but 7th in-person conference. And so we would love to see you here in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. It'll be November 2nd is for our VIPs. That is sold out, but November 3rd and 4th is our main conference. We'd love to have you here, and more of these kind of conversations, more of these fireside chats. There's nothing like, I love the internet streets. I was an early adopter. So when I talked about how the business started with web design, and you remember I said I did my first couple free. Well, my first paying customers who did not know me were from MySpace. Y'all remember MySpace? Are y'all not shamed? Are y'all shamed to say y'all were on MySpace? My first paying customers were from MySpace. A pastor in Texas, up and coming artist like in Arkansas, saw a post that I put on MySpace and bought web design services from me. So I have been an early adopter. I have been a gravitator to social media, but there is nothing like getting in the room with other humans and having the interactions that you have at an event. Also the speakers. So we have people like Sharice Jones, who is the CEO and chief designer for Sassy Jones Boutique. Actually, these bracelets are and earrings are from Sassy Jones. An incredible journey, multi-million-dollar company brand now. Incredible journey. Guess what? And her face is still in the brand. Multi-million-dollar company, her face is still a part of the brand. And so we're going to have conversations like, how did you start? And you're going to be able to ask questions. That's the beautiful thing about going to an event. You will be able to get proximity to people that you normally you wouldn't like. You if you sent them an inbox, probably like just because of their capacity are not able to respond, right? But we love to see you at the Platform Builder Summit, Richmond, Virginia. Oops, that says early bird. Early bird is over. I'm sorry. I put up the wrong thing. Y'all understand. Early bird ended, but purchase tickets at platformbuildersummit.com, platformbuildersummit.com. You can grab your ticket for the 2-day event. If you already have a ticket, make sure you book your hotel room by the 4th. That's when midnight at the 4th is when the room rates for our block go up. So make sure you do that. We'd love to have you and continue these types of conversations. Thank you, Mahogany. Thank you so much. I was led here for sure. It was right on time. Well, then this was right for you. This was exactly for you. Thank you so much, Erica. What I appreciate about you is your generosity, always so generous with your knowledge. Well, listen, I am a believer that seeds we sow, the harvest comes back to me. So these are seeds that I'm planting, and I trust and believe and know and have seen the harvest come back. And what I know for sure is that when you lean in and you step into the spotlight, that's even kind of why I called my 12-month program, the Platform Builder, is building a platform, like a stage for you to be more visible so the spotlight can shine down on you. Like literally that is kind of why I named that. And if you see the graphic that we have for the Platform Builder program, like it's a stage. And so it explains that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your questions. Thank you for being engaging. Again, Marketing Tips with Charvette will be back next. We are on once a week. On Mondays, we go back and forth. So Monday at 12 noon or Thursday at 6 p.m. Monday at 12 noon or Thursday at 6 p.m. And that actually was because of a response, a poll that we did in our Facebook community, like, hey, when do you want us to be online? And it was a 50-50 split. Some people said 12 noon on Monday and some people said 6 p.m. on Thursday. So we go back and forth. So we'll be on not this Thursday, but next Thursday at 6 p.m. And I'm going to sneak and put this on my personal page. I'm going to sneak and have this on my personal page as well. Just so y'all, for the whole month of October, I'm going to also let my personal page. Shout out to Mitchell Productions page. Shout out to Marketing Tips with Charvette. Shout out to the YouTube community. And I'll let you all in. But normally we just reserve these conversations for Marketing Tips with Charvette. We're going to let y'all in on the conversation for the month of October. And so I look forward to continuing to connect with you. And I want to see you at the Platform Builder Summit, platformbuildersummit.com. Join us and it's going to be great. All right. We'll see you all later in these internet streets. Bye.